What's the best attack damage tower in the game? Quick version. Today we're going over which is the best based on my opinions. And the first thing I want you to look at is actually in the top left of this game. You can see a bunch of numbers over there. That is how efficient that tower is. All that means is that we do a certain amount of damage per amount of dollars spent. The higher the number is, the better. And clearly you can see that even though the rocket gunners are technically a hybrid-esque tower here, they are the most efficient, but they also have the ability to die. Any which way, overall, it seems like they're all very, very, very similar to each other. There's no specific tower that is significantly better than the other one, specifically if we look at fourth tiers, which are the most important if you ask me. 3.9, 3.8, 4.2, 3.8, I mean, they're all so close together that unless you're, like, min-maxing to the extreme, this is just not a big deal. They're within, like, 5-ish% of each other, so don't think that this is a big deal. That's not important. As far as I'm concerned, ignore it. And that comes down to the abilities then. Which one of the abilities is best? We're just going to look at all of them together. We've got Armor Breaker, which is actually pretty solid overall, and it does damage to guys with armor, which is kind of cool. So I'm definitely a big fan of the Armor Piercer here. Pretty solid, but I hate the Eagle. So that definitely makes me a little bit upset about that. Bounty Hunt is cool because it makes you extra gold, and I'm a really big fan of extra gold here. Anytime I can make any extra money in the game, I love it, and to be honest, it's very rare for anything to actually do that here. So, in my opinion, this is just freaking rock solid across the board here. I love the Bounty Hunt aspect. With the Whirling Doom, I mean, you've got to do it with group damage and whatnot, but it's definitely a pretty fair ability for what it is. Nothing amazing, nothing terrible, but it definitely doesn't meld well with each other, which it's just kind of a little sad. You know, every once in a while you have that happen, you're like, ugh, it's kind of annoying. Then we get to the Final Nail and the Scrap Bomb, which are definitely some of my favorite abilities in the game. And in fact, they're, I believe, two of my top favorite abilities in the game specifically combined with each other. And that's why I like it a lot. The Final Nail allows you to stun guys, to get them next to each other, so you can eventually throw your Scrap Bomb on them, so you can actually do a ton of actual group damage here. So I love this. I love this. I love both abilities. I think they're really, really, really solid, and I would fight anybody who argues with me on that. I don't see how you could possibly say that either of these abilities are bad. Based on just the efficiency themselves, though, Final Nail is one of the fastest attacking abilities in the game, and it gets a really long, a good amount of stun. 2 seconds, what is it, like 40 to 20 times a minute or something like that? That's absurd compared to a lot of other abilities here. And then again, Scrap Bomb happens pretty often, but it's mainly about doing that group damage, but also slows down for 6 seconds as well, just allowing your other towers to do more damage. So, Scrap Bomb, Red Hot Nail, amazing. As far as these abilities go, they're kind of easily arguable as kind of bad. Like, I don't want to say like they are automatically awful, but Sting Missiles, they're very inefficient unless you use them literally 100% perfectly. And even then, it's like, maybe you shouldn't, you know? And Phosphoric Coating also has to be used very effectively with a bunch of group guys all around you to be effective at all. We just hit 2 units with the Phosphoric Coating, reading 4.2, 3.9, and 2.4, which means it's not even worth it to buy the next level here unless you're specifically going for that armor percentage decrease, which is not that important in the game overall. So any which way, this is my quick review here. I'm going to go with, last place, I'm going to go for the Royal Archer, only because of the Eagle. I don't love it. It's not even that I think it's, like, worthwhile. I think it's actually awful. I think it's probably the worst upgrade in the game, so don't do the Eagle, and that means Royal Archer's got to automatically be put on the poop list here. And not really completely poopy, like I said. I see why people might like this tower overall for the other upgrades, but because you have a completely almost unusable ability there, it just makes it... I'm kind of salty about it. Like, bro, what do you do to me? It's awful. In third place, I'm going to bring up the Rocket Gunners, mostly because their range here is very micro-intensive. And even though, yes, you can set them on the ground to block guys, you're really not going to be using that very often unless you, like, specifically need it to block a unit. But most of the time, it's, again, just kind of unimportant, almost. And if you do end up dying, then you lose a ton of your damage and lose a ton of that efficiency. So it could be a pretty big problem here. In addition, those abilities, they're okay, but they're definitely not great. That brings up the Dune Sentinels. It's all about the abilities for this guy. I love the abilities for him. I think they're fan-freaking-tastic. I think they're fun. I think any way that you can make extra gold is just freaking cool, more than anything. And then it comes down to the Ballista Outpost, which again has 2 of my favorite abilities here. I don't think you can overlook how awesome it is to stun people, slow them down, and allow your other towers to do more damage, specifically at any sort of choke point whatsoever. So that's my rating. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and have a super duper delicious day.